Hey, welcome back, everybody. Sarcasm Speaks, Jared and Bob here. A lot's happened in I don't know, what is it? Probably been almost 2 weeks since we actually recorded an episode. I know you guys hasn't really changed for any of you listeners or watchers on YouTube. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button up top if you're on YouTube. But yeah, the kid is here. My child has been born. I've done the whole not sleep thing, right? Everyone's like, oh, get your sleep now. Um, yeah, I mean, don't really sleep a ton, but like, well, actually, you know what? That's not true. You don't sleep consecutively, right? So, like, I think I probably get somewhere between 5 to 7 hours in a day. It's just non-consecutive, right? So, I might fall asleep on the couch when the baby falls asleep for like 45 minutes or an hour or whatever. So, like, cumulatively in a 24-hour period, I think I'm probably good for somewhere between 5 and 7 hours. Maybe even more, maybe even 5 to 8, or 6 to 8. But I'll get into the whole fucking experience in and of itself. But we kind of figured out, Amy and I figured out like almost to like sleep in shifts, right? So Amy takes the first shift at night, so I go to bed at like 11 and I sleep from 11 to 3, and then she wakes me up at 3, and then she goes to bed from 3 to 7. So from 11 to 3 she has the baby, right? And most of this time the baby is sleeping, but it's like we just don't want to leave the baby alone because we tried to put him in the bassinet in our bedroom and he fucking hates it. He did not sleep one fucking second in that bassinet. So we have him in his crib, and the crib that we bought has wheels. So we just rolled the crib into the living room and just kind of like put him down for bed at night in the crib in the living room. And we just kind of like sit on the couch and like either sleep or watch TV or some combination of all of that stuff. So that's basically the nighttime, shift work, if you will. So Amy's got him from 11 to 3. I've got him from 3 to 7. And then, we sleep on the opposites. So we get at least 4 consecutive hours. And that's what I mean. Like when people are like, oh, enjoy your sleep. It's like, I don't know. Like I said, like I might get anywhere between 5 to 8, but only 4 of it is really consecutive. So, I mean, yeah, am I fucking tired? Sure. But like, I don't know. I feel like it's overhyped, right? Like the whole like, oh, get ready, you're never gonna sleep ever again. Your life is over. It's like, I don't know about that. Like, I think it's a little aggressive.
Well, see, I don't think people clarify. Now, as a no-time kid haver, all I can do is listen to people who have had kids. I actually think right now is the easy part because the kid actually does sleep. Again, as far as I know.
Yeah, all he
So
does is sleep, really.
right. So
Except at night. So
well,
he sleeps all day during the day, and then at night he's like, all right, let's fucking party.
yeah. So I think again as a no-time kid haver. So anyone with children, I can't tell you what your specific situation was. Like maybe your kid was a fucking menace, maybe your kid was a fucking saint. I don't know. But what I generally hear is right now, like everyone's like ready for it. So it's like the baby's here. We plan on not sleeping. We got a plan, whatever. Then I think what happens is I don't know how many months it takes. I don't know how many weeks it takes, but like it gets to a point where you like start to find maybe something like maybe the kid actually starts like falling asleep at midnight, makes it to 5 a.m. And it's like, okay, the two of you can sleep from 12 to 5.
Right.
But what then happens is the fucking screaming, the waking up at 3.
Yeah.
So you have these great plans, you have these awesome ideas, and it's like, oh, you know what? The kid's gonna make it through the night. Like it's been 2 weeks, so he's made it through the night every night. And then it's like, nah, fuck it. And it's like,
I'm gonna rage tonight.
yeah, so it's like you plan to get your 5, and then he has other plans. And that usually coincides right around the time where you usually have like other shit to do and like other responsibilities. So then you have to just fucking be a zombie forever. Because that's generally what everyone kind of says is like right now is like the easy time. So I
Yeah.
don't know, like, I don't know who the fuck's like, oh, get. Well, I guess get your sleep now makes sense because it gets worse. Um,
Well, that's what people were saying to me before the baby was born. Like, oh,
oh, yeah,
get your sleep
see,
now.
yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah, get your sleep now because you get to sleep. There's nothing waking you up.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, but yeah, I think even like now it's fairly like low key. I think it's like it usually ends up kind of being like when you get into a rhythm and you see like a streak of something good, and then it's just like all hell breaks
yeah.
loose.
And then he's like, nah, fuck this.
Never mind, you have to have your first double ear infection, and then like the 13 that come after that. Like,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I think that's like more of the shit show. Like because what everyone says is right now is easy, and it's um, like this isn't the hard part. The hard part is I think it comes from expectation. Like there's an expectation because like right now, this kid is not fucking going down, or
Right.
he's going down, but like on his terms.
Yeah. And he's gonna go down for at max 3 hours.
Exactly. Once you start to have, it's almost like hopes and dreams. So hopefully those are still buried in your fucking the backyard in Mansfield.
I haven't seen those. Yeah, I was just gonna say I haven't seen those in
So
years.
hopefully those are in the leaching field, fucking disintegrating.
Yeah,
Because I truthfully think that's when it gets actually bad. And
I can
that's
see
when like
that.
well, that's like when like the real because again
Because
there were
it's like the
parents
pulling the rug out from underneath you, right?
a
You're
little
like,
bit.
oh, like you think you see the light at the end of the tunnel, and the
Yeah.
kid's like, nope.
You're like, oh, we're past this.
Yeah,
Oh, he slept 5 consecutive hours. Like that's gonna be a milestone because then because the first time he sleeps 5 consecutive hours, it's like a fucking puppy.
right.
The first time that they make the 5 consecutive hours, you go, oh my God, I can go to bed at midnight. I can wake up at 5. We're getting closer to what some would call a sleep schedule.
Yeah,
And then for like on it, it won't even be consistent either. Cause you're like, and again, I've heard just like, cause again, everybody at the gym has gone through this. It'll be like Monday, Tuesday, Thursday will be like 3 a.m. wake ups and doesn't go back to sleep, but will go back to sleep at like 8 a.m.
yeah, yeah.
And you're just like, what the fuck?
Yep. Yeah.
Now, again, I'm sure there are multi-time parent or multi-time kid havers that are going to sit here and be like, you have no idea what you're talking about. Dude, all like this is like a fucking literature
Yeah.
review.
Yeah. This is a what is it?
All I can,
A meta
yeah, it's a
analysis.
meta-analysis. All I can do
Yeah.
is listen to a lot of people who have had children and just sift through the specifics and just give you like the theme. Like that seems to be how it goes. Because
Right.
there are other like, dude, there are some people, their kid like sleeps through the night right away. Now you
Yeah.
just got lucky where your kid wakes up at 11 and is like, let's fucking rage. But there are some people at 11, the kid's out.
Yeah.
And maybe it's 11 to 4. So it's like, yeah, 4 is a little bit early, but like you're sleeping at night.
Yeah. Yeah. I figured out a trick. I think it's not good. Some of the things I've read are like, don't do this, but I'm like, fuck it, man. If he's gonna sleep, like, so when I start my shift at 3, um, usually he's asleep. A couple, like maybe once or twice so far, he's been awake. Um, or like he gets fussy at like 3:30 and wakes himself up. But whenever he wakes up, sometime between that 3 to 4 hour mark, 3 to 4 a.m. hour mark, um, I'll wake him up, I'll feed him, I'll change his diaper, and then I'll lay on the couch and I'll actually like lay him on me, like on my chest. and like pull a blanket up like over like both of us, but like really so it only covers like his like lower back really. And he fucking passes right out. He's out like a light. And he sleeps, probably like at least 3 hours from there. But like there's been a couple of things I've read that are like, yeah, you shouldn't have the baby sleep. Like I think it's called contact sleep. Like you shouldn't get them used to contact sleep or whatever. And I'm just like, dude, right now, I don't give a fuck. Like if this kid wakes up at 3:30 and I feed him and I change him and I'm ready to put him down at 4 o'clock, if sleeping on the couch with him on me means he's going to sleep from 4 to 7, then I'll take it. Right. Like I don't care. Right. Cause like if I put him back in his crib and he wakes up at 5:30, then I got to put him back down and he wakes up at 6:45. And it's like, well, I guess we're just up. Like I would prefer the 4 to 7 sleep. So I don't know. That's what I mean. Like I feel like I figured out a little bit of a trick there, but
That's just
the
what you think.
the things I've read are like, don't do that. But I mean, I don't fucking know. What do I know?
Nothing.
That's true. Nothing.
Literally
Yeah,
nothing.
absolutely nothing. So yeah, the whole fucking experience in and of itself was pretty fucking wild. Um, but we don't have to get into like the nitty gritty, gory fucking details or anything. But we went in on a Friday, a week ago, right? Like, well, when this comes out, it'll be out tomorrow. So like, not the previous Friday, but the Friday before. Um, Amy was going to get induced or was supposed to be induced, right? So they called us at 8 o'clock in the morning, or maybe before that, and was like, "Hey, can you guys get here by like 11?" And we were like, "Yeah, sure, I guess." Right? Like, no problem. So we pack up all our shit, we get everything ready to go, and we head to the hospital for 11 o'clock. We get in at 11. Takes probably like an hour to like check in and do all like the paperwork bullshit, right? Like you got to do just standard paperwork bullshit, right? So we get through that. And then I was talking to Amy the other day, and there's like a gap in time. Like I have no idea what we did between 12 and 2, but like right around 2 o'clock, they took us up to the induction floor and like gave us a room and like set everything up and hooked Amy up to an IV, did the whole shebang. And then they have to go, like, part of the induction process is they give you a pill to like open the cervix. And then also it's called a Foley. It's basically a balloon that they got to put up there to like, again, open up the cervix, right? You're trying to induce labor. So this is all probably around like 2 o'clock, 2:30, call it. And then we just go back to the room and we just fucking hang out. And hospitals don't have any TV channels, right? So we couldn't really watch TV. It was fucking stupid. So I put on podcasts and we were listening to podcasts while we were there. Amy was passed out because she got morphine because it was extremely painful to go through the induction process. So they gave her morphine and she literally just passed out. She was high as a fucking kite. It was pretty funny. But she slept for most of the day and I was just listening to podcasts in the fucking room. And the nurses come in every couple hours and check on you, whatever. They do the whole thing. This continued until I think 6 o'clock that night. And they were like, okay, we're going to check and see, how dilated you are or whatever. And I think she was at the point where like they could take the balloon out. So at 6 o'clock, they take the balloon out and they're like, all right, we'll let you know when there's an open room on the labor and delivery floor and we'll take you guys down. And the nurse was like, just up front, like, it's going to be a while. What time you think they finally came to get us to bring us to labor and delivery?
Way longer than you thought.
2 a.m. So they left at 6 at 2 a.m.
To be fair, she told you it'd be a while.
She did. She did say it was going to be a while. So they come into the room. We were both asleep at that point. 2 a.m. They wake us up, they take us down, and then we just kind of fucking hang out there for a while. We meet the nurses and all that shit. They're like, all right, cool, you're good, whatever. Where we just hang out, sleep, try and sleep more. I think from Friday morning, right? So not including Thursday night, because Thursday night was a normal night's sleep because we had to go into the hospital on Friday. So from when I woke up on Friday to when we left the hospital on Monday, I don't think I slept for more than 2 consecutive hours. And like in that entire weekend, so what is that? Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 nights. I think I slept a total of about 7 hours over 3 nights.
That's weird because hospitals are known for their accommodations.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing too is, and this is like anybody listening to the show, especially a woman that has children, is going to be like, wow, you're an asshole. But hey, this is my side of the story. So like, is what it is, right? Hospitals do not give a fuck about the significant other of the person. And everything was ass backwards. So when we were in the induction room, the first one where you go in that you're really not supposed to be in for that long, we just happened to be there for 12 fucking hours. They give you, there's a futon, or it's a couch, but it pulls out into a bed. So they have a full pull-out couch in this induction room. The room is huge. There's tons of space. You get your like a big bathroom attached to it. It's huge. It's a huge room. And then you go to the labor and delivery room, and it's probably about half the size of the induction room. And I get a chair. I get a chair that doesn't recline. The legs go out, right? So like you pull the lever on the side of the chair and the feet pop out so you can actually keep your feet up, but the back doesn't extend. So like I can't lay flat and sleep. I sit in a chair with my feet up and try and sleep. So
maybe you should write a letter to Ritz-Carlton and see if they'll get into the hospital business.
Yeah, I mean they should. And then
did you expect more than a chair?
No, I knew it was going to be a chair.
Because my buddy, if you expected more than a chair, then that's problem number one.
So my buddy Neil, who you still haven't met him, I don't think. But he's 6'5", so he's a big fucking dude. And when he was talking to me before we went in, he was like, "Dude, I hope you get a good chair." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he was like, "In the room." He goes, "I hope you get a good chair because the one I had fucking sucked, and I couldn't fit on it." And I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. So now in hindsight, being in the labor and delivery room, seeing the chair that I had, like my feet, the heels of my feet, I'm not tall. I'm only 5'8". My heels were like off the edge of this like quasi recliner. I can only imagine what Neil must have looked like at 6'5", trying to fucking navigate a chair if it was similar to mine, right? He wasn't at the same hospital I was in, but like assuming all these chairs are basically the same, that must have been quite the fucking sight. So you're not sleeping in the chair. And then afterwards, when you go into the recovery room, that room was the smallest room out of all of them. And I got another chair. It was like a love seat that flattened out into a cot, but like there was no mattress. There was no cot. It was just like the cushion part of the couch of the chair that you would sit on slides forward. Another cushion is underneath it that pops up, and then the back of the chair folds down. So like you get like a flat, so I could at least lay flat, but like there was no room. When I pulled that chair out flat between my fake bed and Amy's like hospital bed that she was in, you couldn't move in the room. You couldn't navigate the room. Like I had to like step over shit and like climb and shimmy and go all around. I'm like, what the fuck? Like to me, it would make sense to have the induction room be the smallest room, right? Because you're not going to be there that long, theoretically. And even if you are, like, fuck it, you're not going to stay there. And then why wouldn't you have the recovery room be the bigger room where you're going to spend most of your time, right? So, like, theoretically, you're not really supposed to be in the induction suite overnight, right? Like, you don't need a full pull-out couch. In the labor and delivery room, like, yeah, you might be there a little while, but like a chair is fine. I get it. I understand the chair in the delivery room. But then the recovery room, like that's where you spend most of your time because you're required to stay for a minimum of 48 hours post birth. So like, why not have that be the room that's spacious and has the pull out fucking couch? I don't know. It fucking just blew my mind. Like it just didn't make any sense to me looking back at it. Like who designed this shit? Like who decided that these are the rooms that are going to be dedicated to each thing? But again, what do I know? I'm just an asshole. So 2 a.m. they bring us into the labor delivery room. We get there, we meet the nurses, whatever, hanging out. No action, nothing going on. So every couple hours, the midwife comes in and does the whole like, oh, we're gonna see how dilated you are, and there's really no change. So then, right around 9 o'clock on Saturday morning, the midwife comes in and goes, okay, so we haven't really changed much. I think she was still at fucking, I don't know, 4 centimeters or 5 centimeters or something. And the doctor's like, here's the deal, or the midwife, sorry, because we used a midwife, we didn't use a doctor. She goes, here's the deal. I think we should break your water. She goes, it's up to you. It's your choice. We don't have to, right? We can just let it happen. But I think if we break your water now, it will speed up the process. And she goes, however, that's a very painful procedure. So, because they explained they basically use a fucking crochet needle to break the fucking bag and break your water. So she goes, are you going to do an epidural? And Amy was like, yeah, absolutely. She goes, okay. So I suggest you get the epidural now. And then once that's settled and you're good, then we'll break your water and we'll get this show on the road. So we're like, all right, cool. So our nurse goes like, oh, who's the anesthesiologist that's on or whatever. Apparently we got the best anesthesiologist at the hospital because when our nurse found out that this woman was on, she did not stop talking about how amazing she was. And in walks this like little tiny Asian woman who like is the nicest fucking woman ever. Like gets everything prepped and ready and like explains the whole process and like does the whole thing. And so the way it works essentially is it's like being at the dentist when they're going to give you like a filling or something and they have to give you the shot of Novocaine first before they do anything. They had to give Amy the Novocaine first in her back before they put the epidural in, which essentially, because I read about it, it's basically a spinal tap is what they're doing. And not the most punctual band in Britain.
The mockumentary.
Yeah.
Was there a Stonehenge that could be crushed by dwarves
in
the delivery room?
There was a speaker in there and it said 11 on it. So I thought that was kind of weird.
England's most punctual band.
Yeah. So
the anesthesiologist didn't fucking spontaneously combust, right?
No. Quite the contrary. She was fantastic. So according to Amy, right, because I didn't experience any of this, that was the most painful part of everything. The Novocaine shot in her back was the most painful thing of the entire process because it was a big fucking needle. It was a pretty big fucking needle. I saw it. They made me sit down. It's like procedure. So they like have Amy sit up in the bed, like upright, and they raise the bed up and they go, "Can you please just sit down?" And I was like, "Oh, I'll be all right." They're like, no, you have to sit." And I was like, "Okay, that's fine." And because technically it's a surgical procedure, like I had to fucking the hairnet on and like the surgical mask and like do the whole thing, whatever. So they give her the Novocaine. It fucking hurts her. Like again, not me. I mean, I don't have pain, but it fucking hurts. Then they do the epidural, aka the spinal tap, and the whole thing is over in about 4 minutes, right? Between like the initial Novocaine shot to okay, your epidural's all done was about 4 minutes. And it's funny because Amy has spoken with other people that have given birth and that have also gotten epidurals. And they all talk about how, like, yeah, like it kind of helps, but like you can still feel and like you can feel pressure and you can do all this. Nope. Amy was like, I was completely paralyzed. She was like, from the waist down, she goes, I could not feel a fucking thing. And I go, yeah, because we had the best anesthesiologist in the fucking hospital that day. Like she was fucking incredible. So it's funny, all the stories that you hear, right? Because some people are like, sometimes you feel like a burning sensation, or you get this, or you get that. And Amy's like, nope, had nothing. She goes, as soon as that fucking epidural was in and they hooked it up to the fucking drip, she goes, done. Completely fucking paralyzed from the waist down. Couldn't feel, couldn't move, and nothing. She was like, it was amazing. I had no pain. And she slept through the whole thing. Because I actually looked at the drip machine, and I forget what the other one was. It was like by Uraval or something, but it was fentanyl. So there are two things. There are two things that go in an IV drip, and it's like by Uraval and fentanyl. So I was like, oh, cool. So you're just high on fentanyl for fucking hours, straight into your fucking spinal cord. So, so yeah, that was probably the trickiest part. And again, that was right around 9 o'clock. They come in, they break the water at like 9:30, 9:45. And then we just sit and fucking wait. And again, every couple hours they come in and they're like, not much has changed, maybe up to like 6-7 centimeters or something. So then there was like a while. So I think the last time the midwife came in to check was like maybe like 12 or 12:30. And then we didn't see the midwife again until like 3 o'clock. And she walked in at 3 o'clock. She's talking like, okay, let me check again. And she goes to check and she goes, oh, okay, well, the baby's ready. So it went from like nothing to like 3 hours in between and not seeing the midwife. He goes, oh, okay, baby's ready. Like we're ready to start pushing. So then she goes over with Amy, like, have you ever done a crunch before? And Amy's like, yeah, I've done crunches. She goes, it's just like a crunch. What you're going to do is take a big breath in. You're going to do a crunch and just push as hard as you can. And like in my head, I'm like, oh, it's the Valsalva. Like you just want a Valsalva. Like that's, I get it. So probably this was like 3:15. So then the midwife is like, all right, cool. Like, I'm going to go. I'll be back in a little bit. So the nurse starts getting things set up and she looks at me and she goes, are you ready? And I was like, am I ready? I'm not the one giving birth. She goes, you're going to grab her leg. And I was like, okay, we're doing this then. So right around 3:30, we start the process where Amy just starts pushing. And you can only push during contractions. So I got one leg, the nurse has the other leg, and it's push, push, push. Okay, wait for a next contraction, take a breather, whatever. Push, 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 whatever. After like the third round of pushing, the nurse goes, stop pushing. And we're like, what the fuck? Like, what? It was like very abrupt, like, stop pushing, don't push anymore. And we're like, what's going on? And the nurse goes, well, listen, I've delivered a baby by myself before, and I'm certainly capable of it, but like, I'm not trying to do that right now. So I'm going to go get the midwife. She goes, the baby's here. And I just look down and I see the fucking head is like sticking out at like the top of the head. And I go, yeah, that's a baby.
Well,
So
it's good thing it was a baby instead of, something else.
yeah, like an alien or something. But so then the nurse goes, gets the midwife, other nurses come in, and this other nurse comes in and like stands next to Amy. And then she turns to me and she goes, do you want me to hold the leg so you can stand here? And I was like, yeah, I think that's probably a good idea.
Anytime that I can get,
Yeah.
anytime that the proper professional can get in position is probably a good idea.
Yeah. So everyone gets in position, right? You assume position. The nurses are there. The midwife is there at 3:30 because they log all the notes and everything, right? Like they do that for their fucking purposes. So 3:30, we start like let's go. We're having a baby. 3:42, the baby was born. Amy was pushing for 12 minutes.
Is that a lot? I don't know.
It's not a lot.
Okay.
It was unbelievable. All the nurses in the room were like, this is your first kid? She was like, yeah. They're like, I've never seen that. But they didn't say I've never seen that, but they were like, that's very unheard of. They were like, this is extremely rare. They were like, I cannot believe that it 12 minutes. That's it. It just took 12 minutes. So
what does it usually take?
Our nurse afterwards in the aftermath told us that like 2 days prior, her last shift, she was pushing with someone for 6 hours.
Oh shit.
Someone was pushing.
That seems awesome, actually.
Yeah. But so Amy was like, "Wow, like how does that happen?" And the nurse goes, "Because they don't actually push." And she was like making fun of these women that like don't push. And she was like, they get in there and they're like, It's like you're not actually pushing. Like you're just yelling and you're like breathing heavy. Like push. And Amy was like, yeah, I wasn't trying to waste any fucking time. She's like, I gotta get this fucking thing out of me. And she goes in. It also helped that she couldn't feel anything. She was totally fucking paralyzed. So yeah, 12 minutes goes by. Baby comes out. They do the whole cut the cord. The midwife looks at me and she goes, do you want to cut the cord? And I was like, nope, I'm good.
Yep.
I'm all set. She's like, all right, cool. She cuts it, whatever. And then, so when he comes out, he had the umbilical cord was wrapped around his neck twice. So everyone was like flabbergasted because they said that the entire time leading up, because they have Amy hooked up to monitors and all the shit, and they monitor the baby, and they were like, that doesn't make any sense because his heart rate was perfect. They like the overnight nurse was like, your baby won best baby of the night, because they all go like, what's the heartbeat look like? What's the contractions look like? All this stuff. They were like, you were perfect. Like everything about this was perfect. They were like, there was zero indication that he had a cord wrapped around his neck, let alone twice. So I mean, I giggled because I was like, yeah, that's my kid. So shout out to him, because he's already more of a fucking, he's got bigger balls than all of us, because we joke about like, oh, I'm gonna fucking drive into traffic, or I'll just drive off the Tobin. Now he actually did have the fucking cord wrapped around twice, so he was ready to go. He was being about it. He wasn't talking about it.
Not today, old friend.
Yeah. So they got him in the other room. They like hooked him up to some oxygen. He was fine. He was just struggling to breathe at first, but they said it's also normal because the labor was so quick. It didn't give him time to like figure out that he needs to breathe and like how to breathe and shit like that. So yeah, he was on oxygen for a couple minutes and then he was fine. He turned pink and red and he was good to go. But yeah, again, not to get like gory and nitty gritty and all that shit, but there is nothing that prepares you for seeing a child being born in like real life, right? Like anything you see in a movie, not accurate. It's not accurate. It's anything you watch on like even in like a health class. Like I feel like some of like health class movies that we've watched in like high school or whatever about babies being born, nope, doesn't do it justice. It's fucking wild. It is absolutely fucking wild. Um, there's a lot of blood. And I'll just leave it at that. There's a lot of stuff there. So, but yeah, that's fucking wild. But we made it through that process. Amy was all good. Baby was all good. We hang out in the delivery room for a little while because then we have to wait to get to the recovery room. So baby is born at 3:42, like I said. Then, after the aftermath of, the cleanup and the oxygen and the recovery and all that shit that they got to do, they didn't have a recovery room open until about 7:30. So another 3.5 hours in the delivery room waiting to go to the next room. It was the smallest of the three, again, like I mentioned before. So then we spend 48 hours in the recovery unit and they kick you out pretty fucking quick. So yeah, and like I said, the whole experience was just fucking wild. But kids here, we're good. We're a week in. We're a little over a week in at this point, and everything's all good. Kid doesn't really like to sleep at night, only likes to sleep during the day. But hey, it is what it is, right?
Shouldn't have had a nocturnal kid.
Yeah. Well, I found out actually when I think one of the nurses said or someone said that the reason for that is because in the womb, babies sleep during the day because that's when like the mother is moving and walking around and all of the movement like makes them sleep. And then at nighttime, when the mom lays down to go to bed, the baby is active, which is why a lot of women struggle with sleeping in the third trimester, like Amy in particular. The last couple of weeks, she like did not sleep at all because the baby kept moving and was like kicking and doing all kinds of shit, doing all that shit at night. So I was like, okay, this kind of makes a little bit of sense. Like if you think about it like that. So it takes a few weeks for like the circadian rhythm to kick in and be like, hey, you're not still in the fucking womb, kid. Like you can be up during the day and you can sleep at night. So, so the best part about this, I totally forgot. I almost forgot. So we get through everything, all good, loading everything up from the hospital into the car, taking it home Monday. We get home Monday, I don't know, maybe around like 1 o'clock to between 1 and 2 o'clock. Just getting the house settled, right? Making sure things are where they need to be, last minute touches here and there. We're both fucking exhausted because we've barely slept, all this shit, whatever. And we're like, all right, I think we're good. Baby's just sleeping, right? Because the first like 48 hours, all they do is like they literally sleep for almost 48 hours straight. So first night home, Monday night, we get there again, home at 2, doing whatever we got to do. Right around 6 o'clock, we lose power. And I go, well, this kind of fucking sucks, but whatever. It's North Attleboro. We have municipal electric. Like the longest we've ever lost power was like 20, 30 minutes tops. I go, no big deal. Whatever. It'll come back. And plus it's 6 o'clock. It's like semi light out. I mean, it was raining and like, thundering and all that shit, but we're like, that's it's fine. No big deal. It'll come back. 6:30 rolls around, still no power. 7 o'clock, 7:30, 8 o'clock, still no power. 2 hours in at 8 o'clock, I'm like, what the fuck are we doing at this point? Like, So now it's dark. It's fully dark. We have no power. So we're like going around by flashlight. So we have this newborn baby that we have like flashlights that we're pointing like up to the ceiling and turning them all on to get light in the room, trying to like navigate the house, change diapers by flashlight, do all this shit, right? Like trying to go downstairs and eat something. 8:30, 9 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock, still no power. Like, what in the fuck is going on? Like, this is insane. So we're just like, I don't know. Do we try and sleep? Do we try and figure it out? I don't know. Let's just like try and go to bed. And that was the first night that we tried to put him to sleep in the bassinet in our room that he fucking hated. So he threw a fucking tantrum the entire time he was in the bassinet, didn't settle, whatever. We're like up and down and up and down. Finally, I fell asleep maybe around like midnight. And I think Amy still kind of was like walking around with him or whatever. And then, or no, I think maybe she finally got him down right around when I fell asleep. So then she fell asleep shortly after. And then 12:30, like 1 o'clock, power comes back on. So the power comes, we lost power for 7 hours. And we're like sick. We don't need power at 1 a.m. Right. But then at that point, like, I think I woke up. Amy tried to get some sleep where it was just a total, complete fucking shit show the first night. And I go, obviously, the first night we take the newborn fucking baby home, we lose power for probably the longest that North Attleboro has ever lost power in history. And it comes back on at 1 o'clock in the morning, just as we finally are getting like rest. So
Thank God you have that municipal electric that comes right back though.
yeah, pretty fucking sick. Come to find out, a tree fell like, I don't know, like 100 yards from the house and like obliterated the fucking power lines.
That makes sense.
So like everyone in this, like all the way down my road was just out for 7 hours. So it's like, all right, that's fun. It's cool because everyone else got to just sleep during that time. But
you keep coming back to sleep. That ship has fucking sailed.
Yeah, it's gone. So fun stuff here.
Crazy Hail Mary in the Broncos game.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I missed. I haven't been looking. Well, also,
I just saw it on Twitter. I didn't set up the TV. I figured we'd be done by the time the Patriots start, so I didn't bother.
Yeah, because I have Red Zone on the TV, and
and it's after the window.
Yeah, Red Zone's done right now. It's got the fucking thing on the screen. All right. You got anything else? Or you want to wrap this up?
We can wrap this up.
All right. What do you got?
So in the midst of last week, Hurricane Shane Helms was coming through. Stand back. No, so we were supposed to get a hurricane this weekend. I don't know if it technically came. It doesn't matter. It's like Hurricane Robert E. Lee. Like, I don't know what the hell happened.
Yeah, it was fucking retarded. There was.
So it was supposed to be a hurricane. Like, more. I'm not doing weather talks. That's not the point of this. Yeah, it was supposed to be a hurricane, and like it was just kind of like a windy day. Anyway.
Yeah, it didn't even rain. I don't know about you guys, but like we didn't get any rain
in the morning
here.
So I'm looking ahead because I had tickets to the Florida State game at BC. And looking ahead, it's like, fuck. The weather's going to suck. It's like, all right, let's give it like a couple days. So on Wednesday, it's looking like, I think it was supposed to be 70% chance of rain all day. I believe. So I text Michaela because she has Amazon Prime. I don't have Amazon Prime. So I sent her just like a pair of like rain pants shells. I'm like, can you buy these for me if they'll be here before the game? And she's like, yeah, it'll be here Friday. I go, fire it off. Like, whatever. And I'm like, okay, so I'll wear them in as I sit there in the fucking rain because it's also like it's metal bleachers,
Right.
wet metal bleachers. Like, if nothing else, I can sit in the rain pants and it's fine.
Right.
So I look later on Wednesday, and now the rain almost looks like it's not coming at all. And I'm like, good. So I bought these shells. Now I will wear them for golf too. So it's
Right.
not like I made this purchase just for the day.
Right.
Um, like I will use them at some point. So I'm looking Thursday. Now it looks like there's nothing coming, like no rain at all. Like it's gonna be windy at the game, but like no rain. No rain in the forecast on Friday. So I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, I go, another jinx. I go, I should have. I go, if I really wanted to ensure zero rain, I go, I would have bought like some type of waterproof shoes of some kind. That's the only thing. I have golf shoes that are waterproof, but I'm not wearing golf shoes to a fucking game.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, although I guess my Pumas would look fine. They just look like sneakers. But anyway,
Yeah.
not the point. So ultimately, the rain does come back to the forecast. Now it looks like it's going to rain at least through like 2 p.m., whatever. I'm like, you know what? I'll wear shorts. I just wore like gym shorts under the shells. I go, I'll just wear the fucking rain gear. It was raining when we left Milton. I mean, it's like a fucking 20-minute Uber, 25-minute Uber, something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. It's not that far.
Get out of the car. Again, I've got full rain gear. No rain. Sit down. The bleachers are wet, as I predicted. So I just like fucking sat down and slid back and forth to dry the seats off. Didn't rain. Maybe 7 raindrops all day.
Good.
So yeah, that was my jinx. My jinx of the weekend was making sure that I had plenty of rain gear to be good to go for a 70% chance of rain the entire time. And we were supposed to get almost like 2/3 of an inch of rain. So it's like nothing, like not crazy, but that's not nothing either.
No, we got more rain in the week leading up to it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I have a sump pump in my basement, but I did get water in the basement.
Well, that's because yeah, and because when it's been coming down this year, it fucking
It
comes
just
down.
fucking dumps. I know that's why I texted you about your gym floor.
Yeah.
Because we got a little bit of water and I was like, I'm not pulling up every fucking puzzle piece and
Yeah.
cleaning them like I did last year. I was like, that was fucking miserable. I
Yeah.
don't care.
But yeah, no, so I that was my latest jinx, making sure that I was nice and ready to go. But the thing is, like, I'm supposed to play a member guest tomorrow, so I've got all my rain gear in the car.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't
And
know,
tomorrow's supposed to rain.
that forecast doesn't seem to really be moving too much.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. But now you're good. Now you're
yeah,
covered.
I'll either be good or they'll cancel. That's probably what it'll be. It'll probably be a cancel because now I'm prepared.
Well, yeah.
If I had to play in the rain, I'd be ready to go.
Yep. Yep.
So they'll just cancel.
That's exactly right.
Well,
Yeah.
it's funny because if you remember, you showed me like the wool lined, like cut proof fucking pants
Yeah. Yeah.
when we were in Mansfield because there was so I this was pre-pandemic. I intended on playing in the Mass 4-ball, kind of like going forward.
Mhm.
But then it got canceled in 2020, and then they've had like record numbers of entries, and now I don't know if I can even really get in. But that was like prompted like the older guys that play Mass golf events. They're like every year the Mass 4-ball is the first full week of May, and the weather is fucking awful. It's 50, it rains, it's
Yep.
windy, it's terrible. It's not nice, it's not good, whatever.
Isn't
I
that you
heard
said like the old guys bring the heaters for the cart?
they have cart heaters and cart
Yeah.
covers and rain gear and hot fucking propane heat. Like it's fucking nuts what they have. And then the 1 year I did play the Mass 4-ball, What do you think the weather was? 45
70.
gloomy, 50 and sunny,
Yeah.
50 and rain.
Yeah.
Exactly what they said would happen happened.
Yeah.
So I think I got like the wool lined ones for when it was going to be like actually cold and shitty. Haven't had to wear them on the golf course once. Not once. I think I may have worn them in the snow like a couple times.
Yep.
Because that's what I looked at. I go, oh, well, I'll buy these because I can wear them in the snow if I need them. That's like maybe 4 times since like 2019 or
Yeah.
early
And it
2020.
didn't even fucking snow this year. I
Yeah,
didn't use my
hey, can you
snowblower
make sure your
once.
fucking snowblower works?
I gotta fucking I gotta change the oil
Make
and
sure it fucking works.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
if that shit doesn't work and you don't know, we're gonna get absolutely drilled.
I'm gonna make a note actually because I'm not fucking working.
Yeah. I was saying no
I'm off
fucking
for the next
excuse.
8 weeks
Make
or
sure that
yes,
make
8
sure that
weeks,
shit is ready to go
7 weeks.
because if that thing is not operational, we are gonna get biblical fucking snow.
I know. I'm setting a reminder in my phone right now for tomorrow to change the oil in the snowblower.
Yeah.
I also got to turn it on and let it run out and like eat
Yeah.
up all the gas because that gas is definitely not good because
Right.
I didn't have to use it last year. So the gas is from 2020, 2021,
No, it would have been
21, right?
yeah, either 21 into 22 because you
Yeah, because
probably
I
bought
didn't
it.
use it 22 into 23. I bought it 21 into 22. So
Yeah.
the last time I probably used it was like February of 22.
Yeah, 22.
So I got to I got to burn all that gas out of there. Yeah, fun. I feel like we're gonna get fucking clobbered this year.
Well, so the only thing, and I really want to wrap up weather. I do not want to talk weather. We talk too much weather. Weather pisses me off. If we do look at like on the year, total precipitation, whether it's rain, snow, whatever, I think we're way ahead of fucking schedule on fucking rain. So
Yeah,
we might be okay.
yeah,
Or we're gonna make up for last year, not only last year's drought, but also like not that much snow.
yeah, yeah,
So like in the 5 year rolling average, like, yeah, this is gonna be a big one.
yeah. I think I talked about that on a previous episode
We
not that
have.
long
That's
ago.
why I don't really want to get into it too
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
Because we're
Like
not fucking
you
meteorologists.
have an average level of precipitation. So if you get none from January to April, you get no snow, no precipitation, you're going to hit that average in 9 months now instead of the full 12 months, right? Like people are like, oh man, what a shitty summer. It just rained all the time. Well, we didn't get any snow. So
should have taken advantage of it last year.
were you guys bitching and complaining about not having snow? Because I'm pretty sure you were all excited about no snow. And like this is what you get, right? Like you have to get precipitation. Like you're gonna get somewhere around the average. So if you get no snow, that means you're gonna get all rain. So enjoy your rainy fucking summer. All right. What is my final thought gonna be? Oh, okay, I got one. I gotta pull it up. I don't fuck. I should have had this ready.
Jesus.
But I did not.
Guy has one kid and his fucking can't get organized.
Yeah, I know, right?
Only fucking person ever have a kid can't get fucking organized.
I don't know where I sent this. Did I send it to you?
What is it? Because if I haven't heard of it, that means it's on Twitter. Because I don't check my Twitter anymore.
It's oh no, I found it. Milk is racist. Okay, so I got it. Here it is. In case you didn't know, all you out there listening, watching, what have you, milk is now racist. So PETA made a post recently that said cow's milk has long been a symbol used by white supremacists. One more reason to hashtag ditch dairy. So in this article, it is a different article. This is on NPR. So that was a PETA post. Then there was NPR posted and said, the use of milk as a signifier of white supremacy was popularized in the bowels of the online forum 4chan, which you guys are retarded if you're following anything seriously from 4chan. After an anonymous poster shared a graphic study in the science journal Nature showing, quote, lactase hotspots, where certain populations that can trace their ancestry to Europe have higher milk tolerances. So milk is racist because if you're of European descent, aka Caucasian, you're more likely to be able to tolerate cow's milk. Therefore, milk is racist. And then there's another post from some website called The Conversation that says how the alt-right uses milk to promote white supremacy. So these are 3 different publications, right? From PETA, from NPR, and from The Conversation that all say milk is racist.
So am I like very, very anti-racist then because I'm lactose intolerant?
Yeah, I believe so. I think you're safe.
Well, I don't want to be safe. I want to be superior to everybody else.
Well, yeah, you will not tolerate lactose. Therefore, you are anti-racist.
I've got to be like the least racist person that anyone's ever met.
I would imagine so.
Has to be.
Yeah. It's the only thing I can think of.
No milk for me.
You should do that. The next time someone, like, you go get a coffee and someone's like, oh, do you want milk for your coffee? You're like, oh, no.
Do I look like a fucking bigot to you?
I'm not racist.
Only problem is you definitely can't say shit like that because whether it's customers or workers or whatever, there are definitely not going to only be white people around.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And also, like, 90% of people will not understand what the fuck.
Have no idea what I'm talking about.
Yeah, they're like, I just asked you if you wanted milk. Yeah, I know, I'm not racist.
Yeah. How fucking dare you?
So this is what we're doing now. Milk is racist.
People need fucking hobbies. So this is the other thing too. Like I know, so we talked about it, like the ditching the beef and ditching dairy and electric car. Like that was like the things that people were like.
What was it called? The C40?
Yeah, whatever that shit was.
Yeah.
It's gonna fucking backfire at some point.
Yeah.
Or it's like Boy Who, I mean, we're already kind of in like Boy Who Cried Wolf, because now it's like everything makes you racist. So none of it is racist, right? Except actual racism. Like if you go back and find real, true,
which is
hate towards a group based on race,
or what like liberals are actually doing by pushing segregation. Right? They're like, in some instances, they're
it's going to take them forever to figure that one
out. Black people need to feel safe, so we need to give them their own schools. Like what? What?
I think when you give them their own water fountains, that might fucking set it off.
How do you people not? It's just one of those things. It's just mind blowing. Like, how do you people not see what you're doing?
They're too stupid. They're too stupid to figure it out.
Yeah, they've literally come full circle. Like the racists have won. I think we did a whole bit on that on the show. If you have a thought and a theory, and when you say that theory, if it's something that sounds like the KKK would support, it's probably racist.
Right. Well, it's definitely racist.
It's definitely racist. Yeah.
It's 100% racist.
And like the whole like liberal left wing, like we need to like give black people their own fucking housing and their own schools separate from white people because white people are awful and black people need to be by themselves and all this stuff so they feel safe. It's like, what are you guys saying? Like, do you not hear yourself? Yeah, I remember the bit now. We said we were going to make the Grand Wizard like a cabinet position. We have to run all ideas past this guy, and if he likes it, then we can't do it.
Yeah, you can't do it.
It's a dumb idea.
Yeah. If he's in whatever he's in support of, don't do it.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, like this is it. This is those same people are the ones that are saying milk is racist.
Fucking assholes.
People are absolutely fucking retarded.
It's so stupid too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, again, I'm just glad that tomorrow I can go to work and I can know that any milk drinker in that place, I know that I am better than them.
You
And
are in fact
I am so
anti-racist.
much less racist than them.
Yeah.
Like significantly more. You can fucking taste it.
Where does protein shakes come into
Well, I don't
play
know. Does it
there?
have milk?
Well, they're milk proteins, right?
But
It's
then
whey, and casein.
hold on. Remember, these people aren't very smart, right?
Yeah,
We've established that they're not very
correct.
intelligent.
Correct.
They're not gonna know the process of fucking whey. Because
Yeah, that's true.
because again, we'll fucking get this going. But like the way that whey works, or I guess the way that whey worked, like way back in the day. Whey.
Which way does the whey go? How do you get the whey from the whey?
I think like way, like going back, like because like feta cheese, right? So like the idea of feta cheese is like you have milk from like a fucking goat,
Right.
you leave it out, it curdles, you take
You strain the curdles.
that's your cheese,
That's cheese.
and then the shit that's left over, which is, whatever, that shit gets dried out and powdered, and that's why it's whey protein now. So yes, I took like obviously like historical process. It's not like that anymore. They don't just leave the fucking goat's milk in a
Yeah.
bucket. Although they could, but anyway.
Yeah.
No, they could, because when it comes straight from the animal, it doesn't need to be refrigerated.
Right.
But that's why whey protein smells like fucking death if you don't clean it out, because it's like rotten milk effectively.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. Anyone that knows you found an old protein shaker like in the back seat of your car under the couch.
You may as well just let the fucking jar of milk in your car for 4 days.
Yeah. You just throw that away. You don't even open it. You just throw that fucking thing away.
That.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like again, these people aren't very intelligent, so they're not gonna be able to put two and two together and figure out that like whey protein or cheese comes from milk. Now they can probably figure out that cheese is still dairy, but they probably don't realize that the product started as milk.
Yeah.
Some of them could probably figure that out, not all of them.
Yeah. It's just
I say half.
Yeah, that's probably fair. It has to do with like the whole vegan movement, right? Like people are trying to push people to be vegan and like stop eating meat. We talked about that. Don't eat meat, don't do this, don't do that. Like that's dumb. That's the dumbest thing ever. So I will now drink more milk to offset anyone.
I won't because I'm better than you milk drinkers.
That's true. You have no tolerance for that kind of thing.
I will not tolerate it. I will not.
So that's gonna do it for us. So thank you for watching. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to hit the subscribe button up top, like button down below. Tell everybody you know about the show. If you're audio only, you can still subscribe. You can rate and review on Spotify and iTunes. So go do that, please and thank you. Continue to tell everybody about the show there. Even if you're audio or video, doesn't matter. You can get us on Instagram at Sarcasm Speaks Pod, Twitter at Sarcasm_speaks, Facebook is Sarcasm Speaks, website sarcasmspeaks.com. Go to the merch store, buy some merch. Shout out to mybookie.com. Use the promo code SarcasmPod when you sign up to double your first deposit up to $1,000. And also thank you to Noon Brew. You can go to noonbrew.com, use the promo code in the show notes below, and they will get you 10% off every single time you check out over there. I am not drinking it right now because I am not going to bed anytime soon. So I will be using it, but not now. I do. I love it. It's great. buy it. Use the promo code, save yourself 10% on it. And also shout out to the Ice Pod. You go to the icepod.com, use the promo code again in the show notes, and you will get $10 off plus free shipping over there. So until next time, good night, everybody.